Hello everyone. Today we'll take up a very important topic, that is spotting errors. हाँ दोस्तों, error spotting will always be there in all the question papers where English subject is concerned. This error spotting questions, you have to be very particularly. And the questions where error spotting is concerned, the questions can be related to grammar, it can be related to spelling, it can be related to any other thing. It can be related to connectors, किसी का भी error spotting आपको आ सकता है. So let us take a few examples of error spotting. The first, the directions आपको आएगा. Each of the following sentences are divided into parts which are marked A, B, C and D. One of these parts may contain an error or may not be accepted or acceptable in standard written communication. Mark that part as your answer. And suppose option E is no error and if you feel कि उस sentence में कोई error नहीं है, then mark that part as your answer. चलते हैं with the examples. First example, she wore a dress to the party that was more attractive than the other girls. Read the sentence very carefully friends. ध्यान से sentence पढ़ना, कहीं पे भी error हो सकती है या ना भी होवे. तो she wore, इसमें कोई error नहीं है. A dress to the party, this also does not have any error. That was more attractive than the other girls. Some error looks to be at this particular place. यहाँ पे कुछ error नजर आती है. Now what is the error? We are comparing the dress. So she wore a dress to the party that was more attractive than the other girls. यहाँ पे we are not comparing with the dresses of the other girls. हम उसके dress को किससे compare कर रहे हैं? With the other girls. So this is not a comparison. The error is over here. So the mistake is in part C. क्या होना चाहिए? Then those of the other girl or then the dresses of the other girls. So the dress that the girl wore was more attractive than the dresses of the other girls, not far more attractive than the other girls. तो यहाँ पे क्या आएगा? Then those of the other girls. तो यहाँ पर ये error है. So you have to be very careful when you try to spot the errors in the sentences. Next. If I would have been there, I certainly would have taken care of the problem. देखिए ध्यान से कहाँ नजर आती है आपको इस सेंटेंस में एरर. कहीं नजर आती है आपको सेंटेंस? Is there any error? Just try to identify if you can find any. If I would have been there. If I would have been there. I certainly would have. Now देखिए, this to would have been used in this sentence. क्या ये sentence grammatical correct है? No. So there is an error in this sentence. तो किस प्रकार से the formation the sentence should have been? An error is in part A. If I would have is incorrect. क्या होना चाहिए? If I had been there, I certainly would have taken care of the problem. So this is the way the sentence has to be rectified. In fact, in exam you don't have to rectify the sentence. But at least हमको आना चाहिए कि which is that mistake over there in that sentence. Why that sentence is grammatically incorrect. चलते हैं with the next example. The reason her and her friend decided to take the bus instead of the train was that there was an announcement about cancellation of several trains. Friends, don't be scared of a long sentence. Sentence बड़े long हो गए, but the error will be easy. Now if you read this, the reason her and a friend, the reason her and a friend. Yes, ये जब पढ़ोगे, you know this thing is pinching. The subject is missing. इसके अंदर the subjective case should be used, not the objective case. तो यहाँ पे mistake कहाँ पर है? The reason her and a friend is incorrect. The reason she and a friend, ये है correct answer यहाँ पे. So the error is in part A. And the reason she and a friend, the subject form of the personal pronoun is she and not her. Yes, the explanations for all of you. चलते हैं with the next example. Unless there can be some assurance of increased wages, workers' morale already low will collapse. Now read this sentence very carefully. Tricky sentence है. Try to identify the error, whether it is in part A, is it part B, is it in part C, D, or if you feel there is no error. Many times जब ये sentence में बच्चों के संग करता हूँ, स्टूडेंट्स के संग करता हूँ, many students come up with the answering, सर इसके अंदर कोई error नहीं है. But friends, there is an error in this statement. Read it very carefully. Unless there can be, yes, if you just try to identify, there is nothing over here. Some assurance of increased wages, simple sentence है, workers moral already low. Workers moral already low. Already, सब तैयार. क्या ये सही है? No. So what is the error over here? The word should have been already. So such type of errors also you can expect in your exams. तो यहाँ पर ये error है. So error is in part C. C में error है. Moral already low and not already low. Yes. And in exams you can get error spotting. इस टाइप के भी then या then को replace कर सकते हैं. Yes, then and then can be replaced. So you have to be very careful. Yes, such tricky things can also be asked. The next example. No sooner had he begun to speak when the opposition members started to shout slogans. And if you feel there is no error, go with E as the option. Yes, which one is the correct option? Yeah, which part has an error? Does part A has an error? No sooner had he, सर इसके अंदर तो कुछ error नहीं है. Began to speak when. Now this is conflicting. If you remember your connectors याद है? No sooner takes what? When or then. No sooner always takes then and not when. So the error is in part B. यहाँ पर error है to speak then. So it should be THAN then and not WHEN when over here. So be very careful of connectors. Connectors कौन से? Neither nor, either or, not only but also, no sooner then. Yes, these are the few connectors we should always remember. So connector based errors also you can expect in your exams. Each of the hotel's 150 rooms were equipped with central air conditioning and color television. Yes. Any error in this, read it very carefully. Each of the hotel's 150 rooms were equipped with central air conditioning and color television. We have done subject verb agreement. Yes, उससे related है. Each and every. What do they take? The verb should be singular or plural? Yes, friends. Each, every. The verb is always singular. यहाँ पे क्या लिया है? Were. So this is the error in this statement. The sentence should have been each of the hotel's 150 rooms was equipped with central air conditioning and color television. ये है आपका सही जवाब. The singular subject each requires a singular verb. The singular subject requires a singular verb. This is the place where error is there. Moving on with the next example. A wise man and experienced manager will assign a job to whomever is best qualified. Remember, whomever. We have done those things in the earlier lectures. तो जो भी ग्रामर की है सब यहाँ पर आपको यूज करना पड़ेगा. You will have to identify the errors with the help of all the rules which have been taught to you. Whoever कब यूज होता है and whomever कब यूज होता है. Whoever subject, whomever object. तो यहाँ पे this is being used as an object over here. यहाँ पे क्या होना चाहिए? A wise man and experienced manager will assign a job to not whomever, it should have been whoever to. Whoever is best qualified. So this is the error in part C. To whoever is best qualified, this is what this word should be replaced with. So since this word is subject of the subordinate clause, whoever must be used, whomever is the subjective form. Yes. चलते हैं with the next example. Avinash is not so better a batsman as to be selected for the national cricket team. If you feel there is no error, then D is your correct answer. Read it carefully. ध्यान से पढ़ना. Read it twice. Maybe at one reading, at one go, we may not be able to find out the error if any. Avinash is not so better a batsman. Yes. Avinash की बात कर रहे हैं. Better. Which case should be used? Which degree should be used? Positive degree or comparative degree? यहाँ तो अविनाश की बात कर रहे हैं. Talking about one player. So only the positive degree should have been used, not the comparative degree. So better is the incorrect usage. It should have been. So B is the correct fragment which has an error, and better should be replaced with good. Positive degree has to be used because we are talking about one batsman, Avinash. Other sentence. Next. We did the job as good as we could. However, it did not turn out to be satisfactory. We did the job as good as we could. However, it did not turn out to be satisfactory. Good sentence. ध्यान से देखिए, है क्या इसके अंदर कोई error? Do you find any error in this? Yes, there is an error over here. Yes, intelligent sentence. We did the job as good as नहीं होना चाहिए. We did the job as well as we could. बोलते हैं ना, well done. The job is well done. So we did the job as good as नहीं होना चाहिए. We did the job as well as we could. Because the adverb well must be used to modify the verb did. The adjective good is incorrect. Remember this rule. इस rule को याद कर लेना. Next example. Since Punjab has a food surplus, it is hard to see why anyone in the state should slept hungry. Read the sentence. Any error you can find out in this, if any. Since Punjab has a food surplus, yes, so सही है. It is hard to see, सही है. Anyone in the state, सही है. Should slept hungry. Now, the wrong tense has been used. क्या आना चाहिए? Should slept hungry या should sleep hungry? So error is in part D, and the verb slept is incorrect. It should replace with sleep. So since Punjab has a food surplus, it is hard to see. हम present की बात कर रहे हैं. It is hard to see why anyone in the state should sleep hungry. Next example for you. If I would have had more time, I would have prepared a more detailed report. Yes, we have done this type of example earlier. Find out the error quickly. Yes, see this. If I would have, यहाँ पे again contradictory, again conflicting. क्या होना चाहिए? Past perfect tense should have been used over here. Yes, so the error is in part A. If I had more time. The if clause must have, देखिए, the if clause must have a past perfect subjunctive form had or had. तो would have गलत है. यहाँ पे क्या आना चाहिए? Had. Yes, this had should be over here. Yes, so this should be replaced with had. I hope it is clear enough. चलते हैं the next example for you. So you have to be very careful when you solve these questions based on spotting the errors. More leisure as well as abundance of consumer goods are attainable through automation, and E should be the option if you feel there is no error in the statement. Read it carefully. Yes, more leisure as well as abundance of consumer goods are attainable. Let's start checking. More leisure, इसमें कुछ है नहीं, as well as abundance. So no error in A and B. Now let's move on to C, if any. D में भी नहीं लग रहा है कुछ भी. Of consumer goods are attainable. More leisure as well as के संग क्या लगता है? We have done subject verb agreement. Remember the statement. Gold as well as silver has fallen in price. याद है वो example? Same way. So more leisure as well as abundance is attainable and not are attainable. This is the error in this example. तो C के अंदर error है. Moving on with the next example. Every man, woman and child are now aware of the terrible consequences of the habit of smoking. Have you identified the error correctly? Straight, मिल गया, मिल जाना चाहिए. Each, every. The verb is singular. See over here. Every man, woman and child are. So do you feel this are is correct? क्या लगता है ये are correct है यहाँ पे? Every है. Every should take singular. So every man, woman and child is now aware. So this error is in part A. This are should be replaced with is now aware of. So compound subject, man, woman and child introduced by every must have a singular verb. Introduced by every must have a singular verb. So is now and not are now. Next example. Although Sandra was not invited to the wedding party, she would very much have liked to have gone. And no error. अगर आपको लगता है the statement is correct. So read the sentence very carefully. Although Sandra was not invited to the A और B में तो कुछ भी नहीं है wedding party, she would very much have liked to have gone. Do you find anything contradictory? कुछ लग रहा है? This is correct. This is correct. This one is correct. चलते हैं. Have liked to have gone. So something is wrong over here. So straight away you know the error is in part D. The error is in part D. और क्या है? She would very much have liked to go. Very much have liked to go, not very much have liked to have gone. A present infinitive, to go, not a past infinitive, to have gone, is used after a verb that is in the perfect tense. ये perfect tense में है. Would have liked. So you have to practice a lot where some error spotting questions are there. Your employer would have been inclined to favor your request if you would have waited for an occasion when he was less busy. I know सीधे इसमें आपको मिल गया होगा. We have done the examples on the similar pattern. If your employer would have been inclined, would have and would have. तो यहीं पर error है. So error is in part C. Your employer would have been inclined to favor your request if you had waited for an occasion, not would have waited for an occasion. So this is the place where error is there. Error in part C. Next example. No one who has seen him work can deny that Sam has an interest and aptitude for secretarial work. Very interesting sentence. Yes, read it very, very carefully. It is difficult to identify error in such sentences. No one who has seen him. Yes, सही है इसके अंदर. No problem. Work can deny that. Yes, correct. Sam has interest and aptitude for secretarial work. यहाँ पे भी ठीक है. Nothing. Something is there in part C. Yes, I have given you a clue. Error है part C के अंदर. Now what is the error in part C? Yes, and if you identify, it will be appreciable. Sam has an interest and aptitude for. Do you have interest for something or interest in something? Yes, friends, we always have interest in something and we have aptitude for something. So aptitude for ये तो सही है, but interest, what does this sentence mean? Interest for. So the error is the word in is missing over here. तो यहाँ पे क्या आना चाहिए? Has an interest in. This in is missing over here in this statement. Yes. So the correct sentence should have been, no one who has seen him work can deny that Sam has an interest in and aptitude for. So interest in and aptitude for. The preposition in must be included after interest. इंटरेस्ट के बाद इन आना चाहिए टू इंट्रोड्यूस द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द प्रीपोजिशन ऑफिस वर. Yes, so very nice example for you. Next, to my utter surprise, I found that children with learning difficulties were using computers with ease. To my utter surprise, I found that children with learning difficulties were using computers with ease. Do you find any error? Start with A. A में कुछ नजर आ रहा है? नहीं? Then move on to B. B में नजर आ रहा है? नहीं आ रहा? Stop searching because the error is in part A. Yes. So read it very carefully. To my utter surprise, this is incorrect over here. Yes, the wrong form of verb has been used. To my utter surprise आना चाहिए and not to my uttered surprise. Should be replaced with utter surprise, not uttered surprise. When Jack leaves his scooter to be repaired, he assumes that the mechanic will repair the scooter well. चलो जल्दी से ध्यान से देखो सेंटेंस and very quickly identify the error. When Jack leaves, no error. चलते हैं, कोई error नहीं है इसके अंदर, सही है ये. Is scooter to be repaired, सही है. He assumes that this part is correct. The mechanical will repaired. Shall will के बाद which form of verb is used? Shall and will always take the first form of the verb. Yes, we have done this thing in tenses. Shall or will always take the first form of the verb, not the second form of the verb. So error is related to tense over here, and the error is in option number D. So option D has an error. Will repair the scooter well, not will repair the scooter well. Next, any modern short story writer would be thrilled to have his stories compared with Mulk Raj Anand. Straightforward, simple sentence. No, any modern short story writer would be thrilled to have his stories compared with Mulk Raj Anand. So, what are we comparing? Are we comparing the authors or are we comparing the stories of the authors? यहाँ पे हम कंपेयर कर रहे हैं द स्टोरीज ऑफ द शॉर्ट स्टोरी राइटर की बात कर रहे हैं. सो एनी मॉडर्न राइटर वुड बी थ्रिल टू हैव हिज स्टोरीज. तो स्टोरीज को कंपेयर करना है, स्टोरीज कंपेयर विथ मुल्क राज आनंद से कंपेयर करना है या विद द स्टोरीज ऑफ मुल्क राज आनंद. द शॉर्ट स्टोरीज विल बी कंपेयर्ड विद द स्टोरीज ऑफ मुल्क राज आनंद, नॉट विथ मुल्क राज आनंद हु इज द स्टोरी राइटर. सो एरर इज इन पार्ट डी, कंपेयर्ड विथ those of Mulk Raj Anand, not with Mulk Raj Anand. So the story of modern writer is to be compared with stories of Mulk Raj Anand and not with Mulk Raj Anand the writer. The additional words, those of are necessary to complete the meaning of the sentence. तो the additional word those, ये important है यहाँ पे complete करने के लिए इस sentence को. So go through all the notes or the lectures done where grammar is concerned. सब कुछ इसके अंदर आपको use करना पड़ेगा. Neither the famine or the subsequent fire was able to destroy the spirit of the people. Again, many a times when this sentence is done with the other students, सब बोलते हैं sir, no error in this. Are you also among them? Do you feel any error is there? और इसके अंदर कोई एरर नज़र नहीं आ रही है. फ्रेंड्स, देयर इज एन एरर एंड द एरर इज बेस्ड टू कनेक्टर्स. हिंट दे चुका हूँ, क्लू मिल चुकी है आपको. नाउ आइडेंटिफाई विच पार्ट हैज़ एन एरर. इज देयर एनी एरर इन पार्ट ए? नो. एनी एरर इन पार्ट बी? नो. नो बच्चों, बी में ही एरर है. नीदर ऑलवेज टेक्स नॉर एंड नॉट और. माइनर एरर, छोटी सी है, बट यू हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी शार्प, केयरफुल, ऑन योर टोज ऑलवेज. सो नीदर द फेमिन नॉर द सब्सिक्वेंट फायर होना चाहिए, नॉट और द सब्सिक्वेंट फायर. सो द एरर इज इन पार्ट बी. or should be replaced with nor. Had I have been in my boss's position, I would hang up the phone in the middle of the conversation. No error if you feel, sorry, option E, अगर आपको लगता है कोई error नहीं है. Had I have been, the error is over there straightway in part A. Had I have been is incorrect. Had I been, not had I have been. Sorry. Had I have been is incorrect. Had I been, not had I have been. Next example. The principal of the college, together with some other teachers, are planning to organize an on-the-spot painting competition. Read this sentence carefully. Yes. जहाँ connectors आते हैं, be very very careful. Which connector has been used? Together with. तो यहाँ पे together with use किया हुआ है. Be careful. We have done subject verb agreement. Remember or no? याद है ना? So there are only 3 connectors in which the verb agrees with the subject nearest to it. Rest all the connectors with the primary subject. तो यहाँ पे together with है, किसके संग agree करने चाहिए? Principal. Principal is singular. So the principal of the college together with some other teachers. ये plural है. This is singular. So are. क्या ये सही है? It should agree with what? The primary subject. तो are के बदले क्या होना चाहिए था? Is. And the correct statement should have been the principal of the college together with some other teachers is planning to organize an on-the-spot painting competition. Yes, together with, along with, as well as, they always agree with the first subject or the primary subject. Next example. Now that the stress of examination and interviews are over, we can all relax for a while. Yes, ये समय आपके लिए भी आएगा. एक समय आएगा जल्दी से जब आपकी एग्जाम्स खत्म हो जाएंगी. The stress of the exam will be over and you will also get time to relax. But उसके पहले, yes, let us take the stress of this example. Now that the stress of examination and interviews are over, the subject, the verb depends on the subject and not with the complement. Remember that rule. याद होगा. किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? स्ट्रेस की बात कर रहे हैं. Simple error is identified. We are talking about stress, not about the examination and interviews. So इससे कहीं अबे मत हो जाना. Don't feel कि end है तो plural हो जाएगा. We are talking about stress. The main thing जिसकी हम बात कर रहे हैं, that is stress over here. So now that the stress is over, not are over. The error is in part B. Yes, you can go through the explanation which is there in front of you. चलते हैं आगे. The present day industrial trend is in the direction of automation and less people. Nice one. ध्यान से पढ़ो. The present day, no error in part A. Industrial trend is in straightway, कोई error नहीं है इसके अंदर. The direction of, no error. Could be somewhere, could be something in part D. Automation and less people. Less people. क्या सही है? Is it correct or incorrect? The error is in part D. And क्या error है? Fewer people. Less we use for quantity and few we use for numbers. Yes, remember when we did adjective. So, error यहाँ पर है, not less people, it will be fewer people. We use fewer for persons and things that may be counted. We use less for bulk or masses. Uncountables. Countables के लिए we use less. The standard of living in India is still lower than that of most of the other developed countries. Read this sentence carefully. The standard of living in India, no error is in, there is no error I think in part A. इसमें तो कुछ error नहीं है. Is still lower than that of. Yes, that of भी use किया हुआ है. So this also looks to be correct. Of most of the other developed countries. So B में भी नहीं है. सी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड कुछ भी नहीं है. एनीथिंग यू फील इज देयर इन ऑप्शन डी है, ध्यान से देखो. इफ यू डोंट फील एनीथिंग इज देयर इन ऑप्शन डी, रीड द सेंटेंस अगेन केयरफुली. हो सकता है कोई एरर आप स्किप कर गए हो, ओवरलुक कर गए हो. इफ यू फील कॉन्फिडेंट कि यस यू हैव चेक्ड इट प्रॉपर्ली, देयर इज नो एरर इन द अदर पार्ट, yes you are correct, there is no error in this statement. Yes, so bouncers also you can expect in your exams. So इस error के अंदर कोई, इस sentence के अंदर there is no error at all. He has been going to the office for a year now and yet not understood its working. Yes, the word not is missing over here. ये लिख लेंगे. He has been going to the office for a year now and yet there is some error in this statement. कुछ mistake overall sentence के अंदर ही है. C में understood है, should be replaced with and yet cannot आना चाहिए. The word cannot is missing. I am sorry for it. This word cannot is missing. Or yes, now this is the statement. And yet can't understood its working. I am sorry, this word can't is missing. That error was from my side. I spotted it, but if this is there, now if you identify the thing, he has been going to the office. Present की बात करें, right? For a year now, and yet can't understand its working incorrect, and yet can't understand its working. Yes, the verb is incorrectly used. Past tense नहीं आएगा, present tense इसके अंदर लगेगा. The next one. At last, late in the afternoon, a long line of men and women was seen moving toward the chalk bazaar, and E is the correct option if you feel there is no error. At last, late in the afternoon, a long line. किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? Are we talking about men and women or we are talking about the line of men and women? हम बात कर रहे हैं line की. Line is singular. Over here, plural has been used. तो क्या होना चाहिए? Was seen and not were seen. Yes? So यहाँ पे error है. Error in part C. A long line was seen. Subject depends, the verb depends on the subject and not on its complement. If he would have taken rest as advised by the doctor, he might not have had a second heart attack. ध्यान से देखिए सेंटेंस को, क्या है इसके अंदर एरर, कुछ है या नहीं है. If he would have, correct, taken rest as advised by the doctor, he might not have had a second heart attack. Be very careful. See each and every fragment carefully. Might be a very minor error, might be not, but read the sentence very carefully. Can you find out the error in any of the part A, B, C or D? नहीं? Could not find any error? Okay, ये रही error. If he would not have taken rest as advised by the doctor, he might not have had a second heart attack. So, if he had taken rest, not if he would have taken rest is incorrect. The verb in the if clause, yes, ये if clause है. तो जब भी if clause आता है उसको ध्यान रखना. The verb in the if clause of a past contrary to fact conditional must take the had taken, not would have taken over. If आ गया तो had taken. If I had worked, if I had done the work, if I had studied regularly, I would have cleared my exam. Yes, तो if आ गया तो ध्यान रखना है, you have to go with the past. Some more examples very quickly. Though you may not agree with the philosophy of Rajneesh, you must admit that he had tremendous influence over a great many followers. A bit lengthy compared to the other examples, but try to find out the error if any. देखो क्या कोई error है इसके अंदर या नहीं है. Though you may not agree with the philosophy of Rajneesh, you must admit that he had tremendous influence over a great many followers. Are you able to find out the error? नहीं. Why? Because there is no error in this example. कोई error इस sentence के अंदर है ही नहीं. Next one. There is no objection to him joining the opposition party provided he is willing to fit in with the party's secular policies. There is no objection to him joining. What is him? Him becomes an object. किसकी बात करनी है हमको? Subject की. So there is no object to his joining and not to him joining over here. And moving on to the last sentence for today. आज का आखिरी sentence आपके लिए. A gang of armed thieves has raided the house of Mr. Joseph late last night. किसकी बात करें? Late last night. So the adverb clause of the past has been specified. So which form of the verb should be used or which verb should be used? Past simple. यहाँ पे हमने कौन सी use की है? Has raided. So the error is over here. A gang of armed men has raided the house. ये गलत है यहाँ पे. Error is in part B. It should be a gang of armed thieves raided the house. This has should not be there in this statement because the use of past tense and not the present perfect tense should be done. क्यों? This word last night आपको दिया है. A time constraint of the past has been specified in this. So friends, this is all where error spotting is concerned. There are some more nice examples which will follow up in the next video tutorial. So please practice all these sentences. Please brush up all the topics of grammar because error spotting will play a vital role in your examination. So keep studying, enjoy learning and see you again very soon with the next video tutorial. Thank you all of you.